The Axial Age. The beginning of spiritual humanity by Dr. Arnie Kozak. The Buddha lived and taught in the Axial Age, the period between century of 800 and 200 BCE. This period of humanity gave birth to the philosophies of Confucius, Lao Tzu, Zoroaster, Socrates, and Plato, as well as the Hebrew prophets, Ezekiel, Zechariah, and Jeremiah, and of course the Axial Age was the context in which the Buddha lived and made his mark on this world. A conviction that the world was a ride, dukkha, filled with grief, pain, and sorrow, was fundamental to the spirituality that emerged in the Axial countries. Those who took part of this transformation felt restless, just as Gautama, the Buddha, did. They were consumed by a sense of helplessness, were obsessed by their mortality, and felt a profound terror of an alienation from the world. Karen Armstrong quoted from Buddha: "Advances in agriculture gave rise to food surpluses and the rise of cities bustling with commerce and political power. The Hindu world in which Gautama was raised was one of the ritual sacrifice, the Vedic worldview, adherence to the authoritative Veda Hindu texts, consisted of castes and belief that the entire universe was supported by sacrifices. The priest class of Brahmins was integral for the administration of these rituals. A strong belief in the afterlife and a soul that transcends death was part of the worldview. Gautama lived within. To get to the equivalent of heaven, one had to live a moral life, and one's ancestors has to employ Brahmin priests to perform special rituals. If one was immoral, or one's family left you in the ritual lurch, your soul might dissolve. Many concepts associated with Buddhism, such as karma and samsara, were imports from Brahmanism. The goal for Brahmanic mystics was to escape rebirth and samsara, the circle of death and rebirth. By reuniting one's Atman or soul with Brahman, the creator spirit. This union is the highest form of yoga. This final release is called moksha. Famous Shramana, a contemporary of the Buddha, was the Shramana, ascetic social renunciated. Mahavira, founder of Jainism. The Buddha transcended the received wisdom of Vedic India. He rejected the notion of an everlasting soul and made the radical observation that what is considered self is not a thing but a process, and a process that is ever changing. Suffering results not from living inside of a body. A belief that presumes a duality between body and mind, but from being attached to it. That is, suffering results from trying to hold one to a solid sense of self when everything is always changing. Trying to cling to fleeting pleasures and trying to push away unpleasant experiences. He succeeded in discovering a method that could bring an end to suffering. And this method can be reliably reproduced by anyone interested in trying. This method was not about achieving high or rarefied status of consciousness, but seeing the nature of reality clearly. That clear seeing is what leads to liberation.